Is it time to panic now? The Bears are at a crossroads. This is year 2 of the rebuild, and we are sitting here at 0-3 after one of the worst losses in the past decade. It seems like this team has gotten worse. All the talent brought in during the offseason, and somehow the team looks worse on the field. The foundation and identity that they preached about all last year is just gone. The Hits philosophy looks like an absolute joke right now. There weren't many positives at all to take from yesterday's game. Searching for the positives in that film will be like Matt Nagy searching for the whys. But the season is not over yet. Is it time to panic now? Not quite. This is year 2 of a rebuild, and it's only been 3 games. This team is at a crossroads and needs to figure out how to win football games, and fast. The schedule definitely lightens up and features a stretch of winnable games. If they continue playing like they did yesterday, though, they won't beat anyone. Let me be clear here. Yesterday's loss was pathetic. The team looked like they lacked any sense of urgency, and they played horribly. They couldn't run or pass on offense, and they couldn't stop the run or pass on defense, and Patrick Mahomes had all day to throw in the pocket. We were also again deflated by key injuries. Tremaine Edmonds and Tyreek Stevenson were both hurt in this one. The Bears seriously can't afford any more injuries right now. We're missing 60% of our starting secondary and 60% of our starting offensive line. It's hard to win like that, and it's even harder to go into Arrowhead and beat the defending world champions, especially for a team that's lost 12 straight and hasn't figured out how to win yet. That's not an excuse. This team is still learning how to win. You can even look at fellow NFC North team like the Lions as an example. Everyone remembers them being good last year and almost making the playoffs, but nobody remembers them starting the season 1-6. 1-6, guys. That's right. And they turned it around. They were still learning how to win. And that was a team that had a top 5 offensive line and a veteran quarterback. We don't have either of those things, and they still started 1-6 before they figured out how to win. No, the situations aren't exactly the same, but when you've lost for a long time in the NFL, it takes some time to flip that switch and figure out how to win football games. The Bears have simply not done that yet and are now 3-16 under Matt Eberflus. We are now entering dangerous territories where if he doesn't turn things around soon, he should be shown the door at the end of this season. This team has a great opportunity coming up over the next 10 days. We sat here at 0-3 today, but they have a chance to be 2-3 just 10 days from now if they can figure things out. The next two teams we play got beat just as badly, if not worse, than the Bears did yesterday. The Broncos were destroyed by the Dolphins 70-20. Yeah, we gave up 40 points, but we didn't give up 70. The team we play next week just did, though. And this is the perfect opportunity for Justin Fields and this offense to make a statement. If we can't score 30 points against that Broncos team, then things are worse than I imagined. But then after the Broncos, we only have 3 days of rest before playing the Commanders on Thursday night. Now, the Commanders aren't awful. They are 2-1 right now, but they just got embarrassed at home by the Buffalo Bills 37-3. That was a home game. So saying the Bears have a chance to win these next 2 games, no matter how bad we looked yesterday, is simply true. One loss doesn't define a season. The Lions lost a game 30-0 last year early in the season, but nobody talks about it because they turned things around. It's not too late for this team to figure things out. Remember the goal. This year was never about winning the Super Bowl. It's about improving, becoming a better football team, and figuring out how to win. Then we reload with 2 first-round picks next year and come out swinging for the fences in 2024 and beyond. But sitting here today, I have serious questions about this coaching staff. They need to figure things out fast because, like I said, these next 2 games are very winnable, and if the coaches can't right the ship, then we have bigger problems. But even after these next 2 weeks, there are a lot more winnable games on the schedule. After the Commanders, we have the Vikings at home. They are also 0-3 right now. Then we play the Raiders, who haven't looked good. The Chargers, the Saints, the Panthers, the Lions. This team could actually go on a roll if they were to get hot. Tevin Jenkins is eligible to return from the IR against the Commanders next Thursday, and then Kyler Gordon will be eligible to return after that against the Vikings. Hopefully Nate Davis and Eddie Jackson are going to be 100% too. There are still reasons for optimism for this season. Remember, we have 14 out of 22 new starters on offense and defense. There was always going to be a transition period. I think losing to the Packers week 1 is what really hurt most of us fans. If we would have won that game, I think we'd be fine right now, but setting at 0-3 and looking as bad as this team has really hurts. But the future is still bright. We have the second youngest defense in the entire NFL and one of the 5 youngest rosters overall, even with Mercedes Lewis and Patrick Scales making the roster look a tad older. But next year's 2 first-round picks in an extremely talented draft class is just another reason to stay optimistic. With us and the Panthers starting off 0-3, the Bears would have 2 top 5 picks if the season ended today. Luckily, it doesn't, and we can continue rooting for the Panthers to lose all year while rooting for this Bears team to turn things around. I think they can. The goal of this season now should be getting the most out of Justin Fields. Luke Getsy needs to dig deep and find a way to get the most out of our quarterback and find a way for our offense to score points consistently. And Matt Eberflus needs to figure out how to play good defense after all of these players that Ryan Poles brought in to fix the defense for him. Right now, Eberflus's seat should be just as hot. But let's remember something here. This was just a small 3-game sample. It is not indicative of who these players or coaches are overall. We need to give them a chance to get out of this funk and figure things out. There's a lot of adversity going on in that locker room. We lost our defensive coordinator to some inappropriate conduct last week. There's definitely more to that story, but I'm not talking about it, and we've been hit hard by injuries. Honestly, the next game against the Broncos, we should find out a lot about this team. Do they have the heart and tenacity to fight through this, or are they going to cower and let the season fall apart? We're going to find out very soon. This Sunday, we get the Broncos at home in Soldier Field, the day before my birthday, and they better show out. I've not thrown in the towel on this season yet, but yesterday's effort and lack of energy on the sidelines, as well as the play on the field, was extremely concerning. It's put up or shut up time this weekend at Soldier Field. We get a Broncos team that just gave up 70 points. If Luke Getsy can't get this offense going and figure it out against them, he should start working on his resume, period. I don't mean to be harsh, but that's the simple truth here. Thanks to everyone who watches. I know this has been tough to watch these early season games, but better times are still ahead. It takes time to build a winning football team, and I still have ultimate faith in Ryan Poles. Please remember to hit that like button for me, and until next time, bear down.
Do right, Jay. Hey. Hey, good work today, baby. Let's keep going. Here we go. Bears on 3. 1, 2, 3. Bears.